You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back in the second segment of our hour-long special Byline Election 2010. We're featuring the Democrat candidates for New Hanover County Commission. 2 seats up for grabs on the commission. Democrat Sid Causey and Democrat Deborah Butler are looking for those 2 seats. So the county, in order to bridge a budget deficit, a revenue gap, they put in a 25 a quarter cent sales tax increase. Did you support that?
I did.
You did?
I supported that over raising property taxes. I thought it was better to spread it out amongst our tourists and visitors and people that come into Wilmington and buy it, rather than put it on the backs of our taxpayers. Of course,
they pay for it as well, but
they do too.
It's spread out a little bit more.
Absolutely, but it was small. But
Deborah?
I likewise supported the quarter-cent sales tax because I do find it to be a more fair and evenly spread burden. But I did support also a number of other initiatives in addition to that. I thought that there was money to be saved. For example, I would not have issued the park bond debt at the time. That was $600,000 that could have been saved. And other things in terms of furlough, we could have incrementally returned that to our county employees. That would have saved another $600,000. But the board didn't want to do that. They took sort of a threw the baby out with the bathwater, which I thought was a wrong approach. I would have used a scalpel on the budget and a fine-tooth comb as my favorite tools.
Earlier this year, in a 4-to-1 vote, and Jonathan Barfield was the lone dissenter on that vote, happened to be the only Democrat on the board. I don't know if it was connected or not, but the commission voted to support the controversial immigration law that was passed in Arizona. How would you have voted on that?
Well, I support legislation to try to stop the illegal immigrants, but that's a federal issue. States have no authority over those issues.
So you thought it was just sort of a bogus vote?
Well, you know, I thought it was a feel-good thing, and you know, it showed that you were interested, and I think most people are, because it brings a lot of problems to our areas.
What about you, Deborah?
You know, it's clear to me that the folks in Arizona have a legitimate problem, and they did not get the federal response that they needed to address that problem, so they acted in what I think was a rightful fashion. I mean, they had to do something. I really don't think it has much to do, however, with New Hanover County's business. We have far bigger challenges, and our resources, I mean, let's face it, to draft a resolution, to put it before the commission takes the time of staff.
Why do you think they did it?
I think it was a feel-good operation, and
tapping into what people were feeling?
Yes, and the problem is that it backfired, because then we had, not a month later, an opportunity to identify a target employment area on our northern area of our waterfront, which could have brought billions of dollars, investor dollars, and they were not able, in good conscience, to pass that resolution, that Arizona resolution, and then the targeted employment investment area. They contradicted each other. They weren't able to take advantage of those funds, much to the dismay of Chairman Thompson and Mr. Barfield. So,
what do you think are the biggest problems we face here in the county, in New Hanover County?
Well, our economy right now, our jobs. We need to find some way to get our folks back to work.
Is there anything the county can really do to impact that?
You betcha.
No, we have a difference. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely we can. Look, people talk about job creation, but here's how you do it. There are 3 things. First of all, we know that jobs come from startups. It's not even small business, Don, it is startups. The New York Times did an article on this last week. So what do startups need? They need a place to do business, a physical location. They need money. They need angel investment money and seed investment money, and they need mentorship. We have Cape Fear Community College, we have UNCW, who have mentorship programs. We need to focus on that. We need to look and see if there is county property that we can put startups in, and we need to make relationships with investor capitalist firms.
Of course, when the economy is good, Corning puts on more people, General Electric puts on more people. The economy grows with existing business as well.
But those are heavy industrial uses. Our future lies in technologies, not if we want to look in the
So what do you
rearview
want
mirror,
so you want the county to do what exactly?
I want to do an analysis of all county-owned property to see if any of it is underutilized, if we can form incubators and provide startup companies a resource, a location for a year or two to get their feet under them, to hire some employees, then we should do that.
And that money would come from?
Well, if the property is not being utilized now, it's no loss to the county.
But putting the infrastructure in place?
Well, I'm talking about existing buildings, things that...
well, teachers and mentors and
well, we have mentors
executives to oversee the...
Well, we have mentors at UNCW, for example, in the Entrepreneurship Center. Jonathan Rowe's done a terrific job. Cape Fear Community College has a new sustainability program. I don't know if you've even heard of that. It's fantastic stuff, but we've got to lead by example at the county and foster all of these things to engender this kind of business.
All right, let's talk, we have just a moment. Let's talk about Titan Cement. We need to bring more jobs here. Do you support Titan coming here?
Not particularly. I'm a little worried about Titan and their pollution. And they say they do not. And of course, by court order now, they've got to follow the steps. I also believe in a due process. If they're clean, which I have serious doubts about, especially with the new regulations that have actually lowered some of the emissions, particularly mercury, I just don't think they'll pass. And if they pollute, then I'm against them.
Were you, did you support the incentives that the commission
I thought
voted for?
I thought they were too high. You know, I think to be competitive, you probably have to offer some incentives to stay competitive with other areas, but I thought it was too much personally, but they did not.
So you would support incentives at certain times?
For good businesses, I would. Small.
Deborah?
Well, Titan Cement, yes, Titan Cement was a mistake economically, environmentally. The commission, I think, had no idea what kind of blowback they were going to get, and that's because they didn't invite the public opinion that they should have. Titan Cement is the wrong fit. We need, in fact, I'll go a step further, we really need to give thoughtful consideration to rezoning our eco-sensitive areas so that that sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Okay, we're gonna take a short break. We'll come back with Sid Causey and Deborah Butler, Democrat candidates running for the 2 seats up for grab on New Hanover County Commission. When we come back, Cape Fear Public Utility Authority. We'll get their take on that.
Oh, my favorite.
Stay with us.